Good morning, and welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Nashville. My name is Jay Tiefenbrunn. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your Director of Music Ministries. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our online worship. Our collaborative pianist this morning is Holling Smith-Bourne, and later on, you'll be led in singing by Karina Daza. If you're watching live, buttons will appear that will bring you to our website. And if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can visit firstuunash.org and click on the With You Worship Portal button for all the information that you need to participate in today's worship, including the order of service, the joys and concerns, and our offering. Our opening hymn was recorded remotely by members of our choir. The text is attributed to Rumi, and the music is by Lynn Unger. Please join in singing number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, 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 though you've broken your vows, come, yet again come, yet again come, yet again come.
I invite you now to center into your heart space and expand out to connect with your neighbors worshiping online with us today. You're welcome to greet each other in the chat window and let us know that you're here. Let us worship.
Our chalice lighting for this morning was written by Maureen Killoran. As the kindling of this chalice causes the community, let there be light. As the flame of this chalice reminds us of our values, let there be light. As the glow of this chalice encourages us to hope, let there be light.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Diane Dowgiert. My pronouns are she and her. Our call to worship this morning was written by Richard S. Gilbert. We meet on holy ground. We meet on holy ground, brought into being as life encounters life, as personal histories merge in the communal story, as we take on the pride and pain of our companions, as separate selves become community. How desperate is our need for one another, our silent beckoning to our neighbors, our invitations to share life and death together, our welcome into the lives of those we meet, and their welcome into our own. May our souls capture this treasured time. May our spirits celebrate our meeting in this time and in this space, for we meet on holy ground. Come, let us worship.
Hi. I'm so glad to meet you. I'm Jay. I'm the Director of Music Ministries here at First Unitarian Universalist. Let me show you around. Come on. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me, getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me, getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day.
Good morning again. I'm the Reverend Diane Dowgiert, and I am here as your developmental lead minister. Developmental ministry is a special kind of ministry where the congregation and the minister engage a set of goals that will further the mission of the congregation. And when those goals are complete, the ministry will end and you will call a new minister to be among you. But in the meantime, I am having fun getting to know you and hoping you like me. I have here with me today, because I'm kind of a traveling minister going from place to place, I have with me my suitcase, and I'm hoping that you will bear with me as I unpack it. So in this suitcase are all of the things that I really need for a developmental ministry. So let's see, the first thing that's in my suitcase is an agenda. And an agenda, as you know, is the business that you want to get done in any particular gathering or meeting. So I made an agenda, and I hope this isn't showing up backwards for you because it's backwards on my screen. But in case it is, I'll read it to you. My agenda has 2 items. 1, love the people. And 2, work to strengthen the congregation. So during my time with you, That's my agenda, the whole thing. Let's see. The next thing that I need to do this developmental ministry with you is this Kindle, which may seem like an unusual tool for a minister, but Unitarian Universalism doesn't draw just on one book for truth and wisdom, but many sources. So in this Kindle, I have loaded all the texts, sacred texts of the world's religion. I have poetry, I have novels, I have fiction and nonfiction from theology and science and psychology, just some of the few sources of wisdom that we draw on. So I've got my trusty Kindle. Let's see. And next, I have my flaming chalice pendant. And usually I wear it around my neck, but it's too hard to put that on in front of the camera. So I'm just going to tell you that the chalice for me, the chalice represents the cup of community that is open and freely given. And the flame represents the spark of divinity that is present in each one of us. So I've got my flaming chalice. So next, I have actually some clothing. I have here robes and stoles. And if we get to a place of doing live in-person worship with each other again, you may see me in these robes from time to time. I like to wear them to lead worship and for special occasions like weddings and memorials. But the robe reminds me, it's a symbol of the vows that I took at my ordination to serve life with love. And the stole is a symbol of what we call the mantle of ministry. It reminds me of the sacred duties and obligations of this role that I fill. But for now, while we're worshiping this way, I'll just hang them up. And the last thing that I have are my walking shoes. I have my walking shoes because this is a change time. This is a changing time in the life of a congregation, going through some transitions. So we're all going to have to be quick on our feet and nimble as we adapt to changing circumstances and situations. But they're also walking shoes because I am a traveling minister. My time with you is intentionally time limited, though we don't know exactly. Maybe something like 4 to 7 years is what your leaders think that the goals may take us. But I'm here for as long as you need me and as long as you'll have me within that time frame. So I am so grateful to be here among you at the First UU Church of Nashville, and I look forward to our ministry together. And here ends our story for today.
Good morning. My name is Denise Couch. My pronouns are she, her. I am your assistant minister for congregational engagement, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to worship. As Unitarian Universalists, our spiritual paths vary, but in this congregation, we have made a covenant together. We affirm our interdependence, celebrate our differences, and work for justice. We are a welcoming congregation, and we deepen our relationships as we serve our congregation's mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values in the broader world, guided by reason and compassion. I'd like to extend a special welcome to visitors worshiping with us this morning. If you are seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you find it here. All are welcome to attend our services, and people become members of this congregation by signing the membership book and supporting the church with their time and finances. If you are considering joining the church, please be in touch with me. My email address can be found in the staff directory under Contact Us on our website, and I would love to hear from you. Following the service, we hope everyone will enjoy at least one of the online opportunities for fellowship listed in our online worship portal, and our website and the slides following this service hold many other announcements of interest, which I hope you will read. I have been asked to emphasize these. Please register now for programming for children and youth and for covenant groups and nonviolent communication practice groups. These all start in September. Go to the faith development section of the website, firstuunash.org. If you have questions, please contact Marguerite Mills, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, at mmills@firstuunash.org. At today's multi-generational story and song Zoom session at 10:30, we will be introducing this year's Habitat for Humanity family. We will also be talking about Habitat for Humanity. We'll have a story and present a craft. We hope you will join us, and I happen to know there will be a link for that at the end of this service. We will celebrate our annual water communion during a multi-generational online service on Sunday, August 30th. The gathering of waters will look a little different than it does most years, but we want to include you and your water. Please visit our website to see what to do before the August 23rd deadline. Again, there will be a link in the chat at the end of the service for those instructions. You may know that we share every Sunday's collection with an organization whose work outside our walls aligns with our values. For the month of August, our Share the Plate partner is the Palmer Lecture Series, created to honor our congregation's first settled minister, the Reverend Bob Palmer. You can find more information in our online worship portal. At the moment, we do not have the pleasure of passing physical offering bowls among us, but our finance folks have made sure that anyone, anytime, can access our online donation form at firstuunash.org. If you would like to mail a check to the church, please write in the memo line how you would like your donation to be used. If you'd like your gift to be credited to your pledge, please write pledge. If you write Sunday offering, it will be donated to our Share the Plate partner. Today, we are so happy to have a stewardship reflection from Fund member Sally Winkle.
Good morning. My name is Sally Winkle, and I have been a member of this church for 2 years, which is nearly as long as I've lived in Nashville. In case you want to know more about me, I identify as a spiritualist, but have attended UU churches when I lived in Maryland, Indiana, and Las Vegas over the past 8 years. I work at Vanderbilt Medical Center, currently working from home, which sits on 3.5 acres of a beautiful piece of land in Dixon County. After the first service I attended here, I left knowing that I had found my new church home. 2 things which made the biggest impacts on me were Reverend Gale and the music. But during subsequent services, I discovered that there was much more to this church than music and Reverend Gale. Since the first service I attended, the pianist has changed, as has the minister, as of today. And getting to know the musical stylings and performances of Hollings and the choir, and in anticipation of getting to know our new minister, this is all very exciting to me. Life is continually changing, evolving, just as our church is evolving. And getting to know and feeling comfortable with these changes sure makes life easier in these tough times. I strongly identify with the UU principles and enjoy this church specifically because it's easy to get involved in activities or committees, or not. There is no pressure. Also, the church members I have met are diverse and very friendly. I had always compared UU churches to the one I attended in Annapolis, Maryland, because it was so dynamic. But our church here at Fund, too, is very dynamic. And as I mentioned previously, you can be as involved as you want to be or not. I have chosen to be on the Worship Associates Committee, as well as serving as a member of the Reverend Diane's Transitional Support Team. As Reverend Diane says, there is an excitement and vulnerability that comes from getting to know someone, or in this case, getting to know a new church and its members. I hope that you too will strive to get to know our church and each other better in these changing times.
Thank you, Sally. In this season of virtual offering bowls, we are especially grateful for the steady generosity which allows us, both within and beyond the congregation, to continue creating community, nurturing spiritual growth, and acting on our values. We are also deeply grateful for your presence with us, and I invite you now to join in our weekly ritual of gathered community. Following the upcoming musical interlude, we will share the joys and concerns submitted through the online form, provided permission is given on that form. All joys and concerns will be shared as usual with our lay ministry team. So now I invite you to settle into the space that you're inhabiting now, the space that you make holy ground simply by being there. And take a few deep breaths. And as you breathe in and breathe out, be aware that your breathing, your presence, your intention to gather as a community joins you to all the others who are worshiping with us across space and across time. And as you sit and feel connected, you may be aware of certain profound joys, sorrows, concerns that you have brought with you to this gathering. If you would like, you may use the joys and concerns form to submit those, and we will share those with the congregation or with our ministry team. Now, let us listen. Oh, I just had something. Yes. Carlene Dowell has sent us both a joy and a concern. She asks, please send healing thoughts to Shirley Hodge, my partner Mike's mom, who's recovering from COVID in Savannah, Georgia. We will keep them in our thoughts and prayers, Carlene. Okay, that's all I see right now. So I invite you to hold this concern and all those other things. I know there's much that lies on our hearts now these days. Holding all of these together, I'd like to invite us into the spirit of prayer with an adaptation from the Rumi text that formed our opening song this morning that was written by Leslie Takahashi. Let us join in prayer. Come, come, whoever you are. Come with your hurts, your imperfections, your places that feel raw and exposed. Come, come, whoever you are. Come with your strengths that the world shudders to hold. Come with your wild imaginings of a better world. Come with your hopes that it seems no one wants to hear. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, we will make a place for you. We will build a home together. Ours is no caravan of despair. We walk together. Come, yet again, come. May it be so. May we be so. Amen.
Our reading this morning, You Matter, was written by Matthew Rosen. You matter. There is no one like you, never will be again, from the birth of the earth to its outermost end. You, an eager shout, a sacred yes that moves your flesh, your bone, your breath. You, she, he, ze, they, you are whole and okay, gracefully teaching your truth and your way. You cannot be forgotten. We cherish you so. Your voice and your hands can do more than you know. You see old things anew. You turn them and test them. Your wonder exhausts our old words to express them. You speak and lay bare all you dig up and hold, aloft from the dust of conventions grown cold. You upend every rock and pursue every glimmer, and give a new name to each sparkle and shimmer. You chart out new paths, go beyond our horizons, new friendships, new stories, new hopes, always rising. You, welcome and wanted, whatever your skin, whatever the neighborhood you were born in. You play across fences that keep us divided. Old walls become weak where your love is ignited. You call us to kindness and questions, reminding the life of our living is found in the finding. You, there is no one like you, never will be again, from the birth of the earth to its outermost end. You matter. You do. We'll keep learning with you. Now, stand on our shoulders. See what you can do. Here ends the reading.
Our hymn this morning was written to celebrate the growing relationships between the American Unitarian Universalist Association and the Universalist Church in America. Please join in singing hymn number 145 as tranquil streams that meet and merge.
There are very few things in life that I know for certain, but of this I am sure. Life is a gift. That we are here, alive and breathing, conscious and aware. Each one of us, a once in a billion year phenomenon, that we are thinking, feeling, seeing, hearing, sensing beings, that these bodies we inhabit are sophisticated mechanical systems made of living flesh. This is nothing short of miraculous. This belief of mine that life is a miraculous gift is also the foundation of my faith. A belief that is resonant with our first Unitarian Universalist principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. This principle affirms my faith and assures me that I can tell myself, yes, Diane, you matter. Not only that, every person I encounter matters. People I have not met and will not meet matter. That we live at a time when we hang banners and wear t-shirts that read Black Lives Matter reminds me that we live in a society and culture that values some lives more than others. That the lived experience of too many among us, Black, brown, Indigenous, trans, non-binary, gay, lesbian, bisexual, people living with disabilities, that their lived experience confirms that in our culture, some lives are valued more than others. This could cause me to lose my faith or to become cynical. Instead, this reality creates a deep yearning within me, a longing for what I know in my bones, that what I know in my bones is possible, a yearning and a longing that leads me again and again into religious community. It is in community that we come to know each other as the once in a billion year miracle that each one of us is. Getting to know one another is no small task and is never easy, made more difficult by the pandemic, but not impossible. As always, it takes being able to see beyond appearances, to look beneath the surface, to truly know another person. It takes curiosity. As your new developmental minister serving in the lead minister role, I am filled with curiosity about who you are as individuals and as a people together, bound in covenant and engaged in the shared ministry of love and justice. My guess is that you are just as curious about me. It is through stories that we come to know each other. So today I'm going to tell you some of my story and look forward to hearing yours as our time together unfolds. The thing about stories is they rarely start at the beginning, but rather they start where we are. So let me start by saying that I learned on Thursday that I'm going to be a grandmother for the first time. Okay, we can all pause here and say, ah. And I'm already consumed with curiosity about the baby boy who is due to arrive sometime around Christmas. Will he have his father's chestnut brown hair and his mother's beautiful freckles? Will he have his father's artistic sensibility and his mother's sharp intellect? I can't wait to get to know who he is and who he will become. And I can't wait to have him know me. There is no greater gift than to know and be known by another person. This soon-to-be grandmother is herself the granddaughter and great-granddaughter of immigrants from Norway. Both of my parents grew up in Norwegian-speaking households, a tradition that did not continue in my crowded childhood home. I was the third child of 4. My father was a retail manager, my mother a stay-at-home mom, until my father lost his job, which is a whole story unto itself, but at least you get a sense of where I come from. I was born in Denver, Colorado, and grew up in Arvada, a small rural town that became a post-World War II suburb, a very white suburb, by the way. Woody Page, a newspaper columnist for the Denver Post, once wrote that he didn't believe that Arvada could actually exist. He said it was too perfect and too idyllic, with its cookie-cutter houses surrounded by manicured lawns, with grocery stores and gas stations on almost every corner, and brand sparkling new school buildings for all of us baby boomers. He thought all of that was too good to be true, and therefore it couldn't be real. Many of us who grew up there, including my husband AJ, will tell you that Arvada was much more than it appeared to be. But isn't that always the case? People and communities of people are always much more than they appear to be on the surface. My childhood home and the homes of many of my friends were tumultuous, as were the times, often full of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, as they say. Being of Norwegian heritage meant growing up in the Lutheran Church. Fortunately for me, it was the kinder, gentler, more liberal Lutheran Church than some others. And that church for me became a place of refuge, a community of people beyond my family who knew me and cared for me. Those early lessons shaped much of who I am now. But much as I loved the church community, the beliefs that were taught me left me with, shall we say, questions. Specifically, my questions were, if God is good and loving, why would God condemn anyone to an eternity of suffering in hell? Another question, if God talked directly to people in biblical times, why doesn't God speak directly to us now? And the whole idea of the Trinity confused me horribly. My child mind asked, how can God be Jesus and Jesus be God? I thought it was a failing in me that I couldn't take it on faith as I was told to do. Like many of you, it was questions like these that eventually led me to Unitarian Universalism, where I found satisfying answers in some of the classical Universalist and Unitarian theologies. The Universalists, who believed that God was too good to condemn anyone to an eternal punishment, that if any of us are saved, all of us are saved. And the Unitarians, who held that God was one, a unity, not three. And both the Unitarians and the Universalists held that revelation is not sealed, that new truth is always breaking into our awareness. In other words, God still speaks to us today. Now, I want you to know that when I use the word God, it is shorthand for the divine, the holy, the sacred, and all of the many ways that we name the transcendent dimension of life. That's something that is larger and greater than our individual selves. Important to me is that within Unitarian Universalism, there is an openness to questioning and exploration of many ways of seeking truth, with or without belief in a God or gods or goddesses. What holds us together is not common belief, but covenant. It's a binding, a promise that binds us together, a promise we make to each other and to the greater good to walk together in the ways of love and service. It was in the Lutheran church of my childhood that I first heard the call to ministry. When I spoke with my pastor about it, I could almost feel the virtual head pat. Women are just now being ordained, he said, but they generally serve as Sunday school directors or do work in the larger community. I think he meant to be truthful with me, not discouraging. And though my understanding of ministry has expanded since then, I heard it as a second-class ordination and wanted no part of it. It took finding Unitarian Universalism for me to hear the call again, this time in my home congregation, the Columbine Unitarian Universalist Church in Littleton, Colorado, where that call was affirmed by the congregation and encouraged by the minister. As you may know, the Universalists started ordaining women in 1863. In the end, I think my childhood pastor did me a great kindness. I would not have been happy as a Lutheran pastor. It is here with you that I am at home, where I can bring my whole self, including my questions and my doubts, along with my faith. I have found that what was true of my hometown of Arvada is also true of Unitarian Universalism. It is so much more than it appears on the surface. Underneath its long history of liberating ideals and its history of working for social justice, there are communities of people just like this one, filled with people just like you and me, imperfect as we are, with stories of triumph and tragedy, miraculous beings made of stardust, living, breathing gifts of life. My pledge to you, as I serve with you in the role of lead minister, keeping in mind that there's only one of me and at least 400 of you who are members and anyone else who may be logging on to worship with us today. But still, my pledge to you is that I will always do my best to see you, even in this time of pandemic. Because when I say I will do my best to see you, what I mean is that I will strive to see each one of you as the once in a billion year miracle that you are. You matter. If you are a person who is Black or brown or indigenous or trans or binary or gay or lesbian or bisexual, if disability is part of your experience, I see you. You matter to me. For all of you, I will be on your side to the best of my ability. I will fail. And when I do, I will try again as many times as it takes. This is the bedrock of my faith. Truly, you are the bedrock of my faith. My faith that life is a gift, that you are a miraculous gift, never to be taken for granted. That we do this thing together. Call it church, call it religious community, that we come together in service of a greater good matters. I look forward to our unfolding journey together, knowing you and being known by you. Knowing another person and letting yourself be known always comes with risk and vulnerability. And I am grateful to be among people like you to take that risk and be that vulnerable, and asking you to do the same. And as we do so, let us strive always to be a blessing to life. Amen. Blessed be. I look forward to the coming years. May it be so.
I'd like to invite you to sing with our children's music coordinator, Karina Daza, as she leads us in singing number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. Let us sing together.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
The words for the chalice extinguishing are at the bottom of your order of service. They were written by Elizabeth Sell Jones. Please join me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Bear with me as I pull up the words for our benediction. The words of the benediction were written by Jean M. Ricard. We have a calling in this world. We are called to honor diversity, to respect differences with dignity, and to challenge those who would forbid it. We are people of a wide path. Let us be wide in affection and go our way in peace. This service is over. May our service continue renewed.